All right, chapter 37 of Wishtree. Many in the neighborhood didn't approve of an unmarried Irish woman raising an abandoned Italian baby. People talked as they will, and they tisk-tisked as they must. Some people were even angry. They said hurtful things. They told Maeve that Amadora didn't belong. They told Maeve she and the baby should leave. Maeve merely smiled, held Amadora close, and waited and hoped. On dark nights when hope was scarce, she would sing an old Irish tune mixed with a newer Italian song that she had learned from a neighbor. The melody was sweet. The words were silly. The effect was always the same. A smile from little Amma. Sure enough, the longer Maeve waited, the kinder people grew, and before long, Amma, as she came to be called, was as much part of our messy garden as all the rest of us. When Amma was old enough to feed Squibbles and his family, she did. When she was strong enough to climb me, she did. And when she was ready to make wishes of her own, she did. Amma grew up steady and honest and kind, like her mother, and had babies of her own, and then grandchildren and great-grandchildren. Eventually, Amma and her husband bought the little brown house, and the one right next to it, and painted them blue and green. Years later, they purchased a house across the street and began to rent the blue and green houses to other families. The family grew and prospered and argued and failed and loved and laughed. Always and forever, the laughter kept them going. And when Amma's grandson had a little girl, he chose a fine Italian name for her, with a fine Irish middle name. Francesca Maeve. Hold on, someone's in front of my house. Hi!
Hello!
Okay, so Mrs. Mercer from the high school just showed up at my house and brought me a present. What do you think's in it? Take a look at the shape. Should I open it? Oh. You ready? Isn't that funny? And she brought me a scratch off, and she brought me a t-shirt. I'll show you what it says. Oh, I don't know if you can read it. It says hashtag CAC proud, inspiring learners remotely since 2020. That's funny. And on the front it says teacher team. Isn't that cute? All right, let me read you one more chapter. All right, chapter 38. As for me, my reputation grew. Hadn't Maeve's wish come true in the heart of a wish tree? Didn't that mean anything was possible? Of course, as Squibbles often reminded me, I'd had nothing to do with it. This isn't a fairy tale, Red, he would say. But people are full of longings, and decade after decade, the hopes kept coming. A blessing and a burden it had been. All those wishes, all those years. But everyone needs hope. Chapter 39. At long last, I stopped talking. Once the words had spilled out, it was like trying to stop the wind. In the silence that followed, I felt as if the whole world was holding its breath. I'd broken the rule. Stephen and Samar stared open-mouthed at me. They looked as rooted to the ground as I was. Neither had uttered a sound while I'd told my story. The front door to Stephen's house opened. "Stephen," called his father. "What the heck are you doing, young man?" Stephen leapt to his feet. Here I come, Dad. Night, Samar." "Night, Stephen," she said. Stephen dashed toward the porch, but stopped halfway. He spun around to look at me. "Thanks," he said in a quizzical voice, using the same tone he might have used if Bongo had just made him pancakes. The door slammed behind him. Samar stood, holding her blanket close to her chest. I know I must be dreaming. She headed to her own porch and eased open the door. "I just wish," she added with a smile, "that I didn't have to wake up." Let's see. We'll read chapter 40. Chapter 40. Almost instantly, I'd regretted what I'd done. I'd broken the rule, the biggie. I'd deliberately spoken to people, and not just a few words. I'd spoken a river of words. I wasn't like that frog in the mailbox. I hadn't broken the rule accidentally. I'd broken the rule because I wanted something. I wanted to matter. I wanted to do something meaningful before I died. I'd done it for myself. After the shocked babies and their equally shocked parents were safely ensconced in their dens, I admitted my feelings to Bongo. I waited for her to yell at me. Bongo is good at yelling. Extremely good. You might even say she has a gift. Why did I do it, Bongo? I murmured, why? She flew to home plate. She stroked my rough bark with her sleek head. You did it, my wise old tree, because you had a story to tell. I wish I was it was foolish, I said. I'm not supposed to be foolish. Not so foolish, Bongo said, just hopeful. And everyone needs hope, Red, even wise old trees. All right, so we will continue our story tomorrow. We only have 10 more chapters or so. So we'll finish this up next week. All right. Bye, guys. I miss you.